I've got my work cut out for me.
Hi. It's been a while. I haven't posted a video in a few months, and there's a lot of reasons for that, and I don't really feel like going over them. So I am going to say that I did kind of look at what I like working on versus what I didn't, and I might change it up a little bit and talk a little bit less about new releases and a bit more about fun stuff. So a bit of a disclaimer before we get into things. I am, I guess, what people would call a lifestyler. I wear this stuff every day because I have a job that just gives me the luxury of letting me do that. So I like having a bit of variety in my wardrobe, which means I have a fair amount of head bows, as you're about to see. When I first put them out, I felt a little bit in over my head and actually a little bit terrified that I was not going to be able to fit them all into the buckets I put them in. And that being said, don't feel like you have to compare yourself to me. If you have more, if you have less, any of that, it doesn't matter. There is no minimum or maximum to be a valid member of this fashion, and there's also no set number to say I'm a lifestyle or I'm not. That's just something that you decide, and I don't decide it for you. I've been really self-conscious up to this point about sharing my wardrobe and sharing what I have because I don't want it to look like I'm bragging, but I do kind of want to show some of the sort of fun aspects of unpacking and moving into a new house, including organizing all of my things. So getting into it, first I need to kind of look at what I had. So I took everything in my closet that I could find and I laid it all out. And the reason why I did this was because I can't find a lot of my stuff right now, and I figured a lot of my missing stuff is gonna turn up if I put it all in a pile and then organize it, because I've probably put the wrong thing in the wrong bucket at some point and then it went missing. And so after that, I just started kind of taking everything and organizing it into a few different categories. I took all of my knit caps, put them in one category. I took all of my bulky hats, which the most of my bulky hats are sitting in their hat boxes still. I've already put those away and I'm not going to take them out because a lot of them are really fragile and expensive. So this is mostly just me organizing smaller hair accessories. So the small accessories, like rectangle headdresses and hair clips and all of that, are getting put in a separate bucket. And then I also have a bucket for all of my headbands and head bows and ears and basically anything that goes on a headband. And then I think I found a few broken things that I put in their own little separate grouping that I'll just worry about later. And then if you see that stuff on the left, that's stuff that's not even head bows. I don't know how it got in there. So the first thing I did was I put all of my knit hats just in a little AP box, and I keep these by the door because I wear them really often. It's just an easy, casual way to put my hair up with whatever I'm wearing. So I just have a whole bunch of colors that kind of match my wardrobe and some of my casual clothes. I figured I'd do the hardest part next because I knew this was going to be the most annoying, and that was going through all of my head bows, documenting what I had extras of, what was missing, all of that. So I started going through my head bows and sorting them by color first because I figured when I put them away, I want to put them away by color. And there was a few different ways that I grouped it. I actually separated all of my crown logo head bows. At first I put them with the other colors, but then I decided that they belonged in their own little section because I wear them probably the most frequently of anything. They get tons and tons of wear. I made a whole video about how much I love those head bows. I'll link it in the description. So I also separated things like really bulky headwear and things like veils and also my earmuffs. So once I had them all, I had a few different groups. I had my animal ears, which I decided to separate because I have a lot of bear ears. Then I have my black head bows, which is the bulk of the problem. And then after my black head bows, I have my chocolate and ivory and chocolate themed head bows, my crown logo head bows, which I thought I had more than that. And then all of my just assorted color head bows. I don't have a whole lot of those. Here's all of my random bulky stuff, like my witch hat and my earmuffs, and this one's broken, so it's gonna go in the sewing room. Oh, and look at that. I accidentally bought 2 of these. Once I had everything together, I figured that I would put them in these buckets. I've used them before for head bows. They're pretty much the perfect size, as you can see, to fit a head bow. So I started with a bucket for sort of generic head bows. So I included my animal ears in those because they're not really dedicated to any certain print or release series. And then I took any of the head bows that I felt like I could just put with anything, and I started adding them to this bucket. So that meant solid colored head bows, or head bows from a print series, but they don't look like they match any specific thing. Just head bows that I would wear pretty much any day, because usually the specific printed head bows only go with a certain dress, and I usually keep them as a set. So I just put all of them away by standing them up in here, and oh look, that's that missing Crown Logo head bow. I knew I had more than 3. So I just sort all those into there, and it looks sort of like that. And oh, I forgot a few, so I start cramming those into there. I'm not really cramming them, there's still plenty of room, but it does start getting snug by the time I tuck that last one in there. So once it's done, it looks really good, it looks even, and then I start into my print head bows. And since most of these only match certain prints, I just figured putting them together would mean that it was a bucket I wouldn't have to go into as frequently, and that also meant I wouldn't have to risk, damaging them by dropping them or anything as I go through the bucket and look for certain head bows. So once they're done, here's how they looked. I really like how they look standing up in these buckets, and I think it'll look really nice tucked into my closet. I did notice after I've put them all away that I'm actually missing a few head bows, mostly solid black ones, but I figured they're probably in a box that I haven't unpacked yet or something since I recently moved. So after that I started going into all of my hair clips, my rectangle headdresses. I started sort of unwrapping them, taking a look at them, and setting them all to the side. I already know what I'm going to do with these. I usually lay them flat in these accessory drawers, but now I have more space than I used to since I bought a new set of drawers. So instead of just cramming them all into one accessory drawer, I get to actually give them some space to breathe and fold them up nicely, which I didn't really get to do before. I have a lot more room in this house, and so I actually have the space to store things in a way that they can be displayed nicely, which is definitely different for me coming from having everything in one bucket. So I take everything, I sort of organize it into a few groups, and then I go from there and sort of document what I have duplicates of. So my first group was sort of my rectangle headdresses, which I realized I'm missing one black rectangle headdress. It'll probably turn up eventually. And then I do all of my little hair clips, and so I figured those are all gonna go in a small accessory drawer like they used to. And then I have all of my flat head bows, which I found another set of duplicate head bows. I think I've used both of them before. And then I have my eye masks and my bat masks, which I'm actually missing a few eye masks. So I just put them all away in their accessory drawers, nice and comfy, and I figured I was done with them then, until I find my 2 eye masks that are missing. As for the bulky items from before, I had one extra hat box, so I put all of them in the hat box together until I have a better solution. And then this one did not fit in any of my hat boxes, so I just added it to my Milky Bear display for now until I figure out what I'm going to do with it. The reason I like these buckets in this place is they're the perfect size to sit on these little shelves under my blouses. So I stuck them all under there, and I can just easily pull them out, get the head bow I want, and then put them back. I'm really happy about this setup. Maybe now that I have everything sort of sorted and organized in a way that I can actually see what's in my closet and what's not, I'll stop losing head bows and not have to wonder, where are 2 of my face masks and 2 of my rectangle headdresses. At my old place, I had barely any square footage to work with. I had no real closet space because the closets were really badly shaped, and I kind of had to get creative and just stuff everything into boxes and hope for the best. I was using bags, like AP bags, to store head bows. I was putting my shoes on the wall. I was finding really weird ways to organize, and now that I have room to actually organize, I'd like to start documenting the ways I'm going to store my closet and represent everything so that I can see what I want to wear every day and not have to dig for something or wear the exact same 2 black dresses every day of my life. Having a more organized closet means that I can recognize the things that I actually wear as well as identify the things that I don't really wear. Right now there's things that I wish I wore, but I forgot it existed because I had to tuck it into a box and then put it on a shelf since there was no room. Now that I have space again, I want to take an opportunity to go through my closet, and I hope to share that journey with you.